Okay, now that I've got the CD orders text file, I'm going to have a look at that. So if I just double click it, it's just going to open it up in Notepad. And this is pretty useless. A whole bunch of jumbled information, but we can see we've got the first row, the sort of the column headings, and then a bunch of other bits of information. Now, a bit hard to sort of gather what's going on there. So what I'm going to do is open this in Excel. Now, sometimes this doesn't always work. So we're going to hit more apps, sort of search for it. Now, if it doesn't pop up, okay, so what I'll do is I'll just get Excel running, get a blank workbook, file, open, and I'm going to browse to where that file is stored. So I'm quickly just going to copy and paste this location. Now change it from all Excel files to all files. Now I've got that text file. It's going to come up with an import wizard. So I'm going to, because I've got column headings, I'm going to tick my data has headers. And delimited uses different characters. A lot of these files you'll notice there's a comma between each field. So I'm going to use it delimited. So every time it sees a comma, it's going to divide it up as a new column. And I'm going to force it to make sure it uses a comma. Now I need to go through and check the data that's in here. We're just using this just for setting up to have a look at what's actually going on here. We're not going to actually sort of save this file. So general, I don't worry about what the main heading is. I'll look at the data underneath it. Date. So what I'm actually going to want to do is just force everything here to be text for now. It's just going to make our lives a little bit easier to sort of analyze. It means we're not going to go and modify any of this data. So we're doing a fair bit just analyzing, looking at what's going on, looking for some patterns in our data. Now, key thing that's really important, if you've got credit card numbers or phone numbers, they're not really numbers. Credit card is basically 16 digits that have been put together. A phone number is just a bunch of digits that have been put together. Way to sort of remember it is if you can add or take away something from it and it still makes sense, then it's a number. So if I basically ask someone to give me half of your credit card number, they're probably going to give you the first 8 digits. That way we can tell it's text. You know, if I asked you to give me half of $10, you give me $5, we can tell that's going to be a number. So I'm just going to finish that, importing that text. We've got a nice columns here. So I'm going to highlight all of these. Just double click them so we can sort of see our information. So we've got a whole bunch of different orders for different CDs and with some customer information and credit cards. So I'm going to go, okay, so this is all about orders. So I've got an orders table. At the simplest level, I could actually just pull this data as it is straight into a database. But I need to determine what type of information we're actually going to have. So I'm going to talk through a few different examples we've got here. So if it's a mixture of numbers and text, we're always going to use the data type text. So CD number, order number, that text. This date, we've got the actual date. So there's a special type called date and time which we can use. So the date and time for the order date field is going to be date and time. So each of these columns is called a field. And each row is called a record. The whole thing is called a table or an entity. So this table here is all about CD orders. Down below, artist template is going to be text, 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 and a date. You can actually have any prices for any CDs here, so it's a bit interesting. We've got our core information. So that's what a basic table looks like. So I'm now going to actually take this table into Access.